South African Knife Guy, and I'm back with another fun-filled video for you. And today I wanted to present to you this knife. This is the Copper Natrix XL by Kershaw. And this is probably the most interesting knife I've ever come across. It's gigantic, as you guys could tell. This is a large knife. So let's just go ahead and get right into it with the size comparisons real quick. Here it is up against the Paramilitary 2. It's kind of hard to tell the size of these things because I'm actually filming this at an angle, but I'm going to try and do my best. So anyway, yeah, I think this way you can tell. So this is the Paramilitary 2, and this is the Copper Natrix. You can see it's a very large knife. It's got close to a 4-inch blade. Let's put it up against the smaller Benchmade mini bug out. Yeah, you could pretty much tell, even though it's at an angle, you can tell how big the knife actually is. So that's the mini bug out right there. Paramilitary 2. That'll be like large, medium, and small, so you can tell that it falls into more of the large category. So let's go ahead and get into this video here. So why is this knife so interesting? First of all, this knife is heavy as shit. I just want to say that. That's very, very important. I don't think knife companies always make knives for EDC. I think this knife is probably the best argument for that because it's so freaking heavy. I can't imagine carrying this knife in my pocket. It weighs a ton. Runs on ball bearings. It's got really nice smooth action. It's got D2 steel. We have a modified, I'm going to say, is a modified Warncliffe style blade. So basically they made this knife mostly for the actual aesthetic of the knife. It's all copper, and the feel of copper is so heavy. It is much heavier than titanium. This knife is right around, I'm going to say it's like freaking 10 ounces. This thing is gigantic. We've got, supposedly you have two means of deployment, right? You've got the flipper here, which works fantastic. But it's also got a fuller, which I have yet been able to use. I can't get it because the detent is so hard that you can't really use the fuller. I mean, it's not, you should be able to, but you can't. It's got a nice deep pocket clip on it. In fact, the deep pocket clip is very deep pocket. It goes beyond the actual knife itself. It's actually raised up above the knife there, as you can see. So that's kind of nice. So this is going to completely disappear in your pocket when you put it in your pocket, provided that you can actually EDC this thing, because you're going to feel that it's actually in your pocket when you carry this thing. Back spacer, it looks like it's just plastic, right? But it does have D2 steel, and it does run on ball bearings. That's one of the things about Kershaw that I'm really not that crazy about. They don't have very many ball bearing knives, much less large ball bearing knives, that you could choose from, because all of their stuff is spring assist. They've been a spring assist knife company pretty much since the beginning. I'm not really sure why that is, but that pretty much just became their thing. You know, I mean, spring assist knives have been something for, you know, that they've always kind of pressed on. And they've actually become the knife company that have started a lot of people into becoming knife enthusiasts, including myself. This is back in the day, going back like 12, 13 years when I knew absolutely nothing about actually, it's going on 15 years now, when I knew absolutely nothing about knives. I didn't know anything about the steels. I didn't know anything about the actions, the deployment, anything. I knew nothing. I just wanted a really cool looking knife, so I picked up a Kershaw, and it was a spring assist. And then after a while, I kind of got bored with the spring assist and realized that, manual ball bearing system was actually the best route to go. And yet Kershaw's still doing that. They did go through that period when they stopped doing the spring assist and brought out a bunch of these knives that are that run on ball bearings, KVT ball bearing system. But then they phased those awesome knives out and then brought back a whole bunch of brand new spring assist knives. So now they're going back into spring assist knives, and seldom are they even releasing new. And this knife's not even new. This knife is about 4 years old, guys. The copper Natrix. The Natrix has been around for a while. But I just want to do this video strictly because of how interesting it is. I think one of the things that's great about copper is that there's an antiquity to it. The aesthetic, the patina will get better over time. They'll get this pink salmon colored that you're seeing here is going to become sort of like a dark copper color as time goes on, as I begin to use this knife. And I'm going to use it because it's not that expensive of a knife. In fact, I think this knife in D2 was roughly it's like under $100 guaranteed. This knife costs anywhere, you can find it anywhere between like $75, $65 at the cheapest, going all the way up to about $85, and that's pretty reasonable for what you get. But this is a perfect example of a knife company releasing a knife and a material, knowing that it's a good possibility that people are not going to want to carry this. And I think that the knife was actually made for knife enthusiasts like myself who have like a ton of knives and they just want interesting conversation pieces. So that's what I consider this knife to be, an interesting conversation piece. While I may not be carrying it, that's not going to stop me from using it. Because D2 steel is really great. What we have here, and I haven't even gone over the knife yet. This means that I'm kind of rusty. What we have here is a sub-frame lock knife. That's where they actually cut out the frame lock, a piece of the frame lock, and then add in another addition to it to make it what's called a subframe lock. So it's not an actual frame lock where they actually cut out a piece of the frame and use that as the actual lock itself. Instead, what they do is they cut out a section in the knife, remove it, and then add in a new piece aesthetically to stick it in there to make that the lock for the knife. And that's how you get what's called a subframe lock, where it's just not the whole entire knife being cut out, but a portion of it. As far as ergos go, even though it's not a pocketable knife, the ergos on it are okay. People have complained that the pocket clip will dig into your hand, but I didn't find that in this case. To me, because my hands are kind of small, I didn't find... because I feel it right here, but it's digging into the soft part of my hand, so I don't even feel it at all. Yeah, I don't feel it at all. I'm holding this giving it a good grip on there. I'm able to get all 4 of my fingers onto this knife. It's comfortable enough for me to use for slicing, for cutting, for a reasonable amount of time. I wouldn't have any problems with it. Yeah, the action is pretty good. It's not false shutty, but it's false shutty enough for what you get. It is just a big, gigantic, heavy folder. Now, I want to let you guys know that I actually got this knife again in a regular version, thinking, and I'm gonna compare it between this knife and that one when I get it. I believe I'm getting that knife on Tuesday, so you'll be seeing another video on this knife again, comparing it to the much lighter copper Natrix in the same size. So you guys will get a chance to check that out. But if you're looking to get a knife that I mean, if you want to carry it, you can carry it. But if you're looking for a large knife and something that would be considered a conversation piece, definitely this is the one. This is the knife here. In case I forgot to show that to you, it's the copper Natrix XL from Kershaw. And like I said, this knife is about 5 years old. It's been around for a while. It comes in large, medium, and small. Uh, so, there's lots of size varieties with this particular knife. It's and most people that talk about the Natrix probably have this version of the knife just because it's in copper and the fact that it comes in D2 steel. That seems to be the main attraction with this one. Whether or not you're going to carry this knife, I don't know. That would be, up to you. Personally, I think a knife that weighs about 8 to 10 ounces is not something that I want to carry in my pocket because you're going to feel this weighing your pants down when you carry this thing. But, you can carry it. If you're into it, you can carry it. It's just not something that I feel comfortable. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people that have this knife feel the same way. They're not particularly, comfortable carrying something this heavy in their pocket. Uh, it's one of those ones where you can't even tell where the weight distribution is because it's so freaking heavy. It's just, god damn. I can't, yeah, usually people like balance it on your phone. You can't do that with this one. There's no way, man. You can't balance it to figure out. Yeah, you can't do that. So the pocket clip is reversible. Yeah. So you can take the pocket clip, unscrew it there, put it on this side if you're a lefty. So that's an option for you with this knife, which is always a good thing. Yeah, like I said, the action is really good on KVT ball bearing system. I'm really kind of hoping Kershaw gets off of these spring assist. I don't think they're going to, but I don't think they should phase out a lot of their KVT ball bearing knives like they did 4 and 5 years ago when they did that. Because, they did come out with like 20 KVT ball bearing knives for a short while, like between the period of like 20, I'm gonna say like 2009 to like 2015. They were putting out a ton of KVT ball bearing knives, and then they just stopped producing them, and then came back with all brand new knives, going back into the spring assist again. So, and I think that's what's happening with Kershaw's. They're always going to be a spring assist knife company. For people that like spring assisted blades and for people that just want to have a good, nice, solid, cheap option for everyday carry, that's what Kershaw is going to be known for. But yet, that's not to say that this company doesn't put out high quality knives. They do. I think their flaw is in variety. Of KVT ball bearing knives because it's kind of unfortunate because I think they probably would have been better off not doing KVT ball bearing system knives at all and just continue to put stuff out in spring assist and try and continue to get to that market of people that just want a good EDC carry under $100 because a lot of their knives really are fairly not that expensive, and this one's one of them. And for what you get with this knife, you're getting the knife in all copper. You're getting the D2 steel. I mean, a knife like this, to find on and it's 3.75-inch blade. Overall blade length of this knife is like 8.9 inches overall. It's a very, very large knife for those guys that like to have a big knife to carry, which I am, but I'm actually a fan of all sizes. But anyway, as I was saying, I think it would have been better off if Kershaw never put out KVT ball bearing knives because they wouldn't get people like me complaining about it. In other words, they would have just stayed a spring assisted knife company, never put out any KVT ball bearing system pieces, and then just let it go that way and continue to spring that market. But who knows? Knife companies do what they do, and will do what's in their best interest. I am kind of hoping that they'll have a second wave of period, where they bring out a whole bunch of KBT ball bearing system knives, again, all brand new designs. And I'm kind of hoping that the second time they do it, they're not going to discontinue and stop doing it. In other words, they're not going to pull all those out and then replace them again with all brand new knives with spring assist on it. It's just not fair to the buying public, that, and particularly to a knife enthusiast like myself, who like, spring assisted blades. So yeah, I mean, who like KVT ball bearing system knives, but I mean, it is what it is. Companies do what they do. In any case, I just wanted to show this knife off to you. I'll be doing another video with this knife, again, bringing out another another Natrix knife XL. This is called the Copper Natrix XL. And like I said, not only does it come in small, medium, and large, it also comes in different variations. You'll see the one that I have coming, and I'll compare it to this one here. And I am definitely going to expect it to be considerably a lot less heavier than this one. In fact, that one would be a lot more pocketable. It's going to be the same exact configuration with everything you see here. It's just not going to be as heavy, and probably a lot more, a lot less expensive than this one, which is, anywhere between, like I said, between $75 going all the way up to like $85, $88. It definitely comes in at under $100. So definitely something you're going to want to check out, because I think a knife that's right around $75 for what you're getting here is really pretty reasonable. But, and it would be even more reasonable if you're someone who likes to carry a heavy knife in your pocket. You're going to get full use out of it, because, D2 steel is pretty awesome. Anyway, that's it for this video. I just wanted to kind of give a quick look out on this, give you a good quick look at this knife. It's been around all over. They still currently make this knife. You can find it on eBay. It's available everywhere, pretty much. You're not going to have too much of a problem finding this knife or the other variations that this knife comes in. Keep in mind that this knife does not normally come in D2 steel. Normally it comes in Mauve 13, HCR Mauve 13 steel is what it normally comes in, which is a good steel, but D2 is much better. In any case, that's it for this video. This is Omar, your South African knife guy, getting into production section on my channel. Like I said, I'm trying to come back. Hopefully I'll get these videos be getting better and better as I keep going. I'm going to try and I'm going to try and, do more videos as time goes by, and I've got lots of knives to show you. But mostly my channel, as I said, is for South African knives. So anyway, check me out, and, I don't have any supporters, and I've decided that's probably not, since I have no idea how to do that. If someone wants to reach out to me and they like what I'm doing, maybe you can kind of reach out to me and tell me how to get going. I would like to have some supporters, but if not, this will be a channel that's just going to be strictly for fun, because I am a knife enthusiast and a fan of knives, so I'll just keep doing this, and hopefully I'll get better. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and you guys have a great, fantastic day.